Hey everybody, it's that time of day. It's the time for quarantine games, and today we're going to play Castle Panic. Castle Panic is a great game. It's a cooperative game for 1 to 6 players. They do recommend that you play with 4 or more. It takes about an hour to play. It's recommended for ages 10 and up, but as usual, Serenity is going to play with us, so we'll see how that goes. In this game, you and the other players work together to defend your castle from a horde of monsters that are attacking from the surrounding forest. We're going to play cards to slay monsters. We're going to roll giant boulders at them. We're going to rebuild and fortify our walls in hopes of keeping the invading hordes outside. Will we succeed? We'll have to find out. Let's go to the table and see how it's played.
Okay, so this is the board that we're going to play Castle Panic on, and you can see we've got our nice three-dimensional tower, cardboard tower there in the middle, that's made up of 6 different segments that correspond to 6 different arcs that are labeled out on the board here with numbers. We also have a protective castle wall that's going to keep the monsters out of our castle, at least for the time being. Then, around the board, you see these little monster tokens, and we can put a couple of them out there where you can see a little better up closer. These are really great little pieces, little cardboard comic drawings of orcs and trolls and goblins and all kinds of things, and they are going to advance towards our castle every single round, while we play these cards to try and knock them off. And so these different cards are going to be labeled with different things, like there are going to be knights and heroes and archers and things like that that are going to help us to knock off the creatures as they move into the different areas of the board. You can see there's an outer ring that says forest, archer, knight, and swordsman. And so that is what we are going to have to use to defeat them. So each of us is going to get a hand of 5 of these cards, and on our turn we're going to be able to do some actions to take as many of these things out as possible. Now, there's only one way for us to win the game, and again, it's a cooperative game, so we all win or lose together. And the only way to win is to get through all of the monster tokens, destroying them all before they destroy a castle. Now, there are 49 monster tokens in this game, and so we have to get all the way through 49 monster tokens before they take out our castle. So now we're going to deal our starting hand and start with the game. Alright, so we have these cards, and we can play, since it's a cooperative game, we can play these cards out on the table so that everybody can see them. And part of the reason for that is that during our turn, we are going to be able to trade cards with other people around the table. And so that will help us get in the exact right position to take out the monsters that we have. So, let's see. The first thing that we're going to do on each of our turn is we would normally draw up to our hand's total, which is 5 cards with a 4-player game. The next thing we would do is we can optionally discard and then draw up to 1 card, so we can get rid of a card and draw another one if we need to. We can then trade cards, so we can trade 1 card with another person as long as they're willing to trade that card with us. Then we can play cards. That's as many as we want. Then the monsters move, and then some new monsters come on the board. So we're going to start with Patience. Her first phase would be to draw up, but she already has 5 cards, so she doesn't have to do that. Next, she has the ability to discard a card and draw another one if she would like.
I think I will discard a green swordsman and draw... Getting a blue swordsman.
Yes, and in addition to the numbered arcs and the ranks, so forest, archer, swordsman, there are also colors, right? So she's getting rid of a green swordsman, which would only attack things in this ring, which is not going to help us a whole bunch. Okay. All right, so what are you going to play?
Okay, I am going to play the green archer.
Okay, the green archer, and that can hit either one of these.
The orc.
The orc? Okay, and this is kind of an ingenious little mechanism. Some creatures, like the orc here, have multiple hit points. The orc actually has 2 hit points, and so he starts with the 2 facing, the highest hit points facing, but when he's hit, when he takes a point of damage, we just spin that down to the 1. So now we know he can take 1 more hit before he's destroyed, and Patience can continue her turn.
Okay, and then I'm going to use a green hero to take that orc out.
Now, a hero is special in that you can see there's no hero ring here, just archer, knight, swordsman. A hero can hit a creature in any ring as long as it's in the right color. So we're going to be able to take this guy out. He's going to go out to the not the draw pile, but the discard pile, and then we will move on.
And then the monsters move.
Okay, so next the monsters move. So each monster will move up 1 ring. And then we're going to have to draw and play 2 additional monsters. Now, Patience is going to draw those, and in order to determine where they go, she's going to roll a 6-sided die, and she's going to put them in the forest ring of that specific number. So
3.
this goblin goes on the 3.
And apparently that.
And this
all
goblin
the goblins go.
goes in the 3 as well. So we've got a bunch of guys now, a couple of guys coming from the 3 ring.
Okay.
All right, and it turns over to Courtney's turn now.
All right. So I'm going to, if it is okay with Serenity Rose, I am going to trade
Swordsman, what do you want?
Swordsman for your Green Knight.
Okay, I was going to use that, but okay.
Thank you.
Ah,
And then I'm going to play my
gave me a useless card.
Knight,
Which we'll take out.
which will take out that
Okay, so we
goblin.
got rid of another goblin. So we're 2 down, only 47 left. We're in great shape.
Great shape.
Don't attack us, goblins, or whatever.
Should have discarded a card. I didn't think about that. Okay. So now
Move monsters.
we are going to move monsters.
Okay, so all the monsters are going to move now.
Okay, actually.
Okay, so now we've got a lot of monsters right up on the castle. We're going to need to play some in that swordsman ring, but before we do, we're going to have to bring out 2 more monsters.
No.
Ooh.
Okay,
shoot.
so this is a special tile, and this special tile says what?
Blue monsters move 1.
Blue monsters move 1, so that means all monsters that are in a blue arc are going to move 1. Now, so as each one of these hits the wall is going to come down, and they're going to take 1 point of damage. Unfortunately, those are both orcs, so they have 2... no, one of them is an orc, the other one's a troll. So neither one of those monsters is going to be killed by that. So we're still going to have to face them, and they're about to get into our castle and start causing trouble. Now we have our second monster, and it's going to go over there in 5.
I'm not happy about this. I better.
No one is happy about that. Okay, and so now it's Serenity's turn. So Serenity, let's see, you don't have to draw. Or do you want to discard any cards?
Discard my. I'm not gonna discard anything.
Okay, we're going to hold on to him. So
Okay.
now you can trade a card with somebody else if you would like to do that.
I do have a blue swordsman if you would like to trade something.
Mommy has a blue swordsman, and we know that we have 2 creatures in blue that we need to get rid of, so that might help.
You could give me your mortar.
Mortar, because she has brick.
Now, what we're talking about, there are 2 cards that are called Brick and Mortar. If somebody has both of those cards and hands them in on a turn, they can rebuild one of the walls that we've had destroyed. It won't rebuild the towers in the center of the castle, unfortunately, but it will rebuild those walls, and so that will be helpful as we go along.
Okay, so back to my turn.
Yep.
Let's see. Let's play my red swordsman on that goblin.
This
Like
goblin.
Okay, so that
guy
guy's
who
out.
said.
And we'll put this in the discard.
And then we're going to use both of my swordsmen.
Okay, so 2 blue swordsmen. That's going to take that orc out.
You
And
mean the troll out or...
oh, do you want to take the troll out, or do you want to do 1 point to each?
Let's do 1 point each.
Okay, so that'll take the orc out and knock the troll down to 1 point left. And
So I'm gonna use my tar.
oh, now she has a special card that's called Tar. And the Tar card, what it does is it allows her to place this Tar token right here on any monster on the board, and that monster does not get to move this time. Now she's going to put it right there on that troll, and so when the other monsters move, that troll is not going to move. So that way we don't have to lose one of our towers. That's a really good play, Serenity. Good job. Okay, and I think that's it for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now we're going to move all the monsters again.
Oh
That
no.
Oh no, we lost another wall, but that guy dies because he only had 1 hit point, and he loses it when he hits the wall.
Because it hurts him.
Yep. And then we're going to bring 2 more monsters out onto the board.
There we go. We have an orc
Okay, an orc.
and a giant bull.
Okay, so let's place the orc first. So roll the die to see what arc he's going to go into.
Orc.
So she rolled a 4, so he's going to come over in the forest in 4 right here.
There.
All right, good, with his 2 facing. Now, the other token that she drew is a giant boulder token.
Oh no.
And a giant boulder token, what's going to happen is a giant boulder is going to come rolling out of the forest, and it's going to roll over and destroy everything it hits until it hits a wall or a piece of the castle. And so what we're going to do is we have to find out where it's coming from. And so Serenity is going to roll another d6.
Okay, let's do this.
Okay, and
We
it's going to
got
come
2.
through 2. So unfortunately, there are no creatures in 2. So all that boulder is going to do is it's going to roll up, it's going to hit and destroy one of our walls.
I wanted 3.
Sometimes that card can help us. In this particular case, it did not help us. So that's no good at
Oh
all.
no, we are losing all of our walls.
Yeah, we are. Oof. That's a
no.
harsh one.
I need brick. I only have Mortar.
No, you don't get to mommy.
Alright, so it's going to be my turn. Let's
I
see.
do have. Oh,
These
that's
are
yours.
my cards.
Yeah.
Alright. So for my turn, let's see here. First I would draw up, which I don't have to do. Then I could discard. I don't think I have anything that I want to discard, but I would trade. You want me to discard this card? But I could trade. Let's see here. I am thinking, so I have 1 in blue. I can take that guy out with this. Does anybody have any green knights? No?
No, I only
Blue
have
archers? You have
I
a blue
have
archer? Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to trade my red swordsman to you for your blue
He
archer.
has brick.
Yep, I'm going to trade my red swordsman to you for your blue archer.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay. Oh,
And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to play my blue hero, which can hit anybody, an archer, knight, or swordsman, to kill that troll. So I'm going to discard that one. And then I'll play my blue archer to do 1 point of damage to the orc over there. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I have this special card that's called Fortify Wall. So I'm going to... What that does is it places a fortification on the wall so that the wall basically gets 1 extra hit point. So when the monsters hit that, the fortification is destroyed before the wall. And I'm going to put that right here.
thanks, Daddy.
You're welcome.
You don't
There we go. So that wall is now fortified. It's got a little blockade on it. And then the last thing I'm going to do on my turn is I'm going to play a card. This card is called Missing. And it says, do not draw any monster tokens this turn. So I'm going to give us a free turn so we can get rid of some of these monsters before any other ones come out. And then that will be the end of my turn. So we'll move all of our monsters. And then I'll draw 2 more out of the bag here.
Nope.
Nope. Oh, I won't
You
draw
said
any.
missing.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot. I played the card. So I'll pass the turn over to Patience then.
Daddy.
One of these guys is going to move up. He's going to hit the fortification and die. And then the other one will move up, hit the wall and die, but he will also take the wall with him. So,
Don't forget to move the orc.
oh,
Why
sorry.
do
Thanks.
They have to be 2 of them.
Okay. Now that drive him back card, what does that do?
It says move 1 monster back into the forest, keeping it in the same numbered arc.
So move 1 monster back into the forest, keeping it in the same arc. So you're going to play that now?
Orc.
Okay, so we're going to move the orc all the way back to the forest so he doesn't do any more damage to our wall.
Yeah.
Yay, that'll be helpful.
Okay, and any color archer, I'm gonna use that on my orc.
Okay,
On my orc guy.
so we're going to do a point of damage to that orc. He still has one left. And then it looks like that's all you can do this time, so we're going to move the monsters.
Goblin
Oh no, the
King.
Goblin King comes out, so let's roll and see where he goes.
Let's see. Number three.
Okay, so the Goblin King goes in number 3. Now the Goblin King is the example of one of the creatures that there are some special creatures that are in this deck of monster cards, and we have to be careful of those. This is one of them. It's the Goblin King. And so when the Goblin King comes out, we roll him and then place him in whatever arc we've rolled him in, and then we are going to draw and resolve 3 more monster tokens. So we still have our second one that we need to draw, but before we draw our second one, we have to draw 3 more out. So as you can see, a lot of monsters are going to start showing up on the board pretty fast. So just draw one at a time, please.
Blue monsters move 1.
Oh no, so all the blue monsters are going to move up 1. Good for us. Okay, so now draw a second one.
Troll Mage.
A Troll Mage. Okay, this is another bad one. So go ahead and roll to see where he goes.
Okay, he goes in 2.
He goes in 2, which is right in front of you. And the Troll Mage, he makes all the monsters, including himself, move 1 additional space on the board. So all the monsters are going to move 1 when he comes up. So that guy is going to die, but he's going to take that wall with him, and those guys are going to be a lot closer than they were. Oh boy. Okay. This is starting to be ugly.
One more.
Okay, 1 more for the Goblin King.
And then we got to do 1 more after.
Yes, that's correct.
An orc.
Uh-huh.
3.
Okay, so the orc's going in 3. It's right here. Perfect. And then we get 1 more, because this would have been your second one first.
And another orc.
And this orc is going in 2.
2.
All right. So now we've got a lot of monsters on the board and not very many walls to protect ourselves with. Okay, so now we're going to move the monsters again. So let's move these guys first, because we know how they move. Good job. And then we're going to move these 2 guys. So what happens is when multiple monsters enter the castle space or a tower space at the same time, one of the 2 of them will take damage. We get to choose which one it is, and the castle or the tower piece is removed. So let's go ahead and move those 2 guys in. It doesn't matter which one of them takes the damage. Go ahead and take it off of the bowl there, yeah. Because he's got more. Not that it really matters. And then both of those guys live in the castle space. Now what they're going to start to do is they're going to start to move clockwise around the castle instead of continuing to move in. And so what'll happen is on each turn they're going to start to take the next tower out around clockwise. When all of those tower pieces are gone, we're done. We're dead. So hopefully we'll be able to get rid of them before then. The trick of that is obviously we don't have any cards that say castle. So while they're in the castle, we can't destroy them with normal cards. We have to hope for something special to come out to save us at this point. So that is my turn. It is Patience's turn now.
I get to slay 1 monster anywhere,
Yes.
including the castle ring,
So you
but
have
not the forest.
So you have a barbarian card, and that barbarian card, when we play it, it will let us kill it outright any monster on the board as long as it's not in the forest. Now that does include inside the castle, so that means that you can save our bacon here by taking one of our castle
The orc
monsters
has
out.
2, so.
Yeah. So and it doesn't matter how many points he has, the barbarian kills him instantly. So good job, barbarian.
Good job, Barbarian.
Take out the
Good
goblin.
job. Very
Good
nice.
job. You saved the castle.
And then
And then I'm gonna use my any color knight just to destroy him, just because.
okay, so you're gonna do 1 point of damage to him.
Well, destroy one of his.
Right. And then that's it for you, it looks like.
That was a
Okay,
pretty
so you're
good
going to draw
round.
2.
Oh Oh man,
Oh,
I don't know if
man.
we're gonna survive.
This was
One,
very close.
two.
We could get lucky and she could draw a barbarian or a tar.
And 2 green swordsmen.
I mean, there's a few cards that could save us here.
well, she does have 1 green swordsman
Yeah.
out.
If we're able to either take the healer out or stop him from moving, the other guy we might be able to deal with in time. We'll have to see.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
But if
Hopefully
they're
I
both
roll
able to
well.
move, then this is the last turn. Yeah.
Oh no.
No pressure.
No pressure, but discard the bad ones.
Oh.
Which kind
Are
of they're
all
all
of
bad.
them.
They're all bad.
All
Okay,
of
so
the cards
discard.
are
So
one of-
discard at random.
Yep. Okay, make it better.
Nope.
Nope.
Oh
Oh
boy.
no. Okay, Ren.
Trade for a green swordsman. I think that's your best bet.
Give you this one. I'm gonna take. Do you mind? Can I trade?
Yes,
Okay.
you're allowed.
Thank you. I play this.
Very much allowed.
If you
mean,
play it
does it-
on a wall, it doesn't matter.
It's
They're
not gonna
take
matter.
them out.
They're each if they both move, they're both gonna take them out.
Oh,
Oh,
we're
so close!
So
Oh, we were 2 tokens away, but unfortunately the castle is gonna fall because those guys are gonna move, and both of those towers are gonna come down. So, well, we put up a good fight, but unfortunately at the end they just overwhelmed us. So that's how Castle Panic is played. Let's go back and hear some final thoughts.
So that's Castle Panic, a fun cooperative game for as many players as you've got around the house. It actually does play pretty well solitaire too if you're all by yourself or if nobody wants to play with you. Super fun game by Fireside Games, and it's one of the early cooperatives that we got here around the house. But I love it because it's once you kind of figure out what all the cards do and all the text is written right on the cards, it's really easy to play the game. It plays really quickly. It's great. You can have conversations around the board. You can really kind of get into the character and the feeling of really defending that castle. And when those special monsters come out or those plagues come out or whatever else, it's like, oh no, it's a terrible time, and you have one of those kind of craps table moments where everybody kind of shouts and shakes their fists in the air. So that is Castle Panic from Fireside Games. As usual, I'll have a link in the show notes so that you can see where to get your own copy right now, and I hope you enjoy it as much as we did today. Well, that's all for today, but we will see you next time. Until then, stay safe and stay well.